Rebecca Callahan wants to help you find and live your unique happy, the kind of life you might have only dreamt about until now. This is Soulful Synchronicities, and here she is, Rebecca Callahan.
Oh, who is that wonderful voice? I like that voice. It's nice. Hi, Eric.
Hey, good afternoon, Rebecca.
How
Happy
are you
Wednesday.
doing? Happy Wednesday to you. Halfway
I'm
through the
doing
work week. Woohoo!
Yes, indeed. We're excited.
Very nice. Yeah. So what do you think of the view?
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
I love it.
So how have you been, by the way?
And that was your guess, by the way, if anybody
Yes.
was confused
I'll introduce her.
and suddenly
Yes.
thought that
I'll
had...
introduce
Eric has
her.
a new voice.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's true.
I've got a new voice. But, yeah. What was the question?
I'm
sorry.
saving the surprise. So let's see. So
Besides,
I don't know.
what did we
Halfway
think
through the
about
work
view?
week, how are
We
you
enjoyed
doing?
it.
How
Yeah.
you doing?
Doing okay.
Yeah.
A little sleepy today. Had to get up early, take the cat to the vet. So, but you know, just powering through. A little extra caffeine.
Cat, have
I'll
you
be
heard
good.
anything? Is the cat?
He's getting a dental cleaning today,
Okay.
so hopefully that's all it is. I'm afraid they might have to pull something because he hasn't been to the vet in a long time.
Really?
He really doesn't like going, and I don't
Yeah?
like taking him.
Well, no.
But they
That's
said he was really healthy, but he might have, some cavities or something.
What's your cat's name?
His name is Fergal.
Fergal. How did you get that fur? And
Well, he's a redhead, so I thought, well, maybe he's Irish, and so I gave him an Irish name.
I like that. Well, Soulful Synchronicities. Once again, I'm Rebecca Callahan. I'm going to say it. This is my first ad-libbed show. We spoke only until about 3 a.m.,
Oh,
right?
only 3 a.m.
It was just 3 a.m.
Just a couple
Something
hours.
like that, a few hours. But I have my friend here, Joylene Scott. She is from Wenatchee, and I have known her for many moons. And just to let you know a little bit about Soulful Synchronicities, I created this show I sort of added self-love in my life recently. And I found that was a good thing.
It's a very good thing.
That was a really good thing. And so I wanted to sort of share some things that have helped me in addition to that self-love and how life kind of looks now as opposed to how it looked then. And Soulful synchronicities, both of those words just have a whole lot of body and energy and wonderfulness to them, to me. So take a listen. And I am really thankful that you are listening. And if you are interested in getting some coaching, I am an empowerment coach, sort of in the family of life coach, but a little bit differently. And so if you want to get a hold of me, just email me at djrebeccacallahan@outlook.com. So it's DJ REBECCACALLAHAN @outlook.com. But we have a lot to talk about, so I'm going to get right to my guest, Joylene Scott. I met her years and years ago when I was at a radio station in Wenatchee, KW3, and she was doing a haunted house, and she had an excellent Cruella de Vil, and the man that does the music on this show at this point is my son, Dustin Hayes, and he really, that Cruella de Vil, I'm just gonna tell it, Dusty. It's just the truth is, like, he kind of freaked out a little bit at that Cruella de Vil. Yeah, the secret is out, Dustin. I'm sorry. What can I say? But this wonderful thing is I met this beautiful person through
thank
that
you.
experience. And later, Dusty had done a lot of karate. He'd gotten to a brown belt, and it wasn't doing it for him anymore. And he needed to do something else. And I said, okay, so one activity, I ask that you do one activity. And he said, okay, Mom, but I'm not going to do all these scheduled activities. And I said, hey, one is good. He laid it out for me, though. Yeah, okay, I'll do one, but I want to learn how to act. And so he ended up learning how to act. And he was able to introduce his music that he'd been writing since he was, 14, something like that, with his best buddy as well. and Garen Williams. And so anyway, I was able to meet you at a later time because he wanted to learn how to act. And you just so happened to have a performing arts school that was like mega fantastic.
Oh, thank you.
And so can you share a little bit about you and your history?
You bet. So I'm originally from Southern California, Redondo Beach, California. I was raised by a single mom. So I just have to give kudos out there to all of you single parents, because I am just so impressed that it was back in the day, no cell phones. You know, how did our parents do it? And she was so fantastic and really great at making sure she found ways to keep us out of trouble, really. And that's where she found my love for singing, dancing, and acting. I was definitely not a sports girl, and really am grateful for all of that. So when you're putting your kids into activities, just know that you are helping them develop skills that you never know where they're going to go with that. And for me, I've been really blessed and really fortunate to have made a career out of this. So when I was 24, 25, I started my very first studio. I had moved up from Los Angeles, and I thought, you know, we need a safe place for kids to come and be themselves. And that's where my first studio was born. From there, years later now, I still train for kids in film and television. I have kids featured right now doing voiceover work. And
yeah, you told me about one show. Can I just break in and then we'll continue on?
Yeah.
But you told me about one show that's on Disney right now that
Vampirina. Yeah. So there's a student from what I call my original batch. And one of my really important messages that I share with my talent, that it does not matter if you are from small town USA, that if you have a dream or an idea, you are absolutely able to make that happen. And the show being about synchronicity, that's exactly how it happens. And so it's fascinating to me that we're very fortunate now. Technology is great. So if you're wanting to get into the film and television industry, sometimes you do need to move down there, but a lot of times you don't. So I have students that literally get an audition call, the script is emailed, they videotape it, they send it into casting directors. And then if they get a call back or they want to see them, then they fly into LA. So I just strongly believe that if something is meant to happen in your life, that the universe, whatever you want to call it, will conspire and work on your behalf.
Oh, yeah, most definitely. And Vampirina, is that? Because I never looked it up, but
it's a kid's
so he's
show.
A sound engineer doing exactly what he wants to do.
What he loves to do.
On a hot show right now on Disney that plays all the time.
Yeah.
And so that's really cool. And then you said that recently you talked somebody through what the interview was going to be like. And
right. So what's really nice about technology, it used to be that I used to come over here from Wenatchee. I had my studio in Wenatchee, and then I partnered with a lady here in Seattle, and I used to drive. I was single, didn't have kids, and I would just jump on the road and head on over here, and I would train kids in film and television over here in Seattle as well, hold casting calls. You know, I love casting. That's one of my favorite things to do. And so now with technology, though, back in the day, it was VHS, put it in a FedEx envelope and mail it down to the casting office.
And now you do probably an MP4, right?
Yeah, you can just
Something
upload
like
it,
that.
to a Dropbox or something. So what's really nice is now I am very blessed to be a mom of a 5-year-old. Just to give you a little history, my husband and I had been together, and we'd been trying to have kids for 13 years. So I want to give hope to those out there. 13 years to try to have a baby girl. We didn't know it was a girl.
Try to
have a baby.
Yeah.
You know, we didn't go to any specialists or anything like that. And miraculously, at 42, I became pregnant. I had the most dreamy pregnancy. And at 43, I gave birth to our gorgeous, smart, intelligent little girl that teaches me every day. And so pretty much a year after she was born, I decided, I want to come home and be a mom. And
you are digging it.
I'm digging it. I'm digging it.
I like it. I love the posts that you do
Thank
on
you.
Facebook. They're fun to watch. And
yeah.
we were talking, and your daughter is a lot like strong-willed and
Absolutely.
stuff like my son.
We realized that last night. I was like, oh my gosh, that's
powerful and knows what he and what she want, and in life, and likes to. They both tell you what they, I mean, it's really evident.
I have to tell you, oftentimes in life, we really have these expectations of where we want our careers to be, where we want our life to be. And I think more of us are learning now that we need to just let go and let things happen the way they're supposed to happen. And truly, sure, I would have been a fantastic mom at 30, or at 29, but I know in my heart of hearts that becoming a mom in my 40s is exactly the timing for her, because I know who I am now, and I didn't come into my own until I was in my 40s.
Yeah, and you, just like myself,
Mm-hmm.
you added, just like me, you added self-love into the
Yes.
ball game. As I was saying to Diana, the receptionist here at the station, like my ball game of life, I added self-love. And, I think I knew the truth of it,
Yeah.
that life would be so much better when I added that in, but I didn't quite know how to do it. And
No.
we're going to be talking about that. We're going to be talking about self-care as well, and also girl power,
Mm-hmm.
because we're into that, that's
Absolutely.
like,
Or human being power, men and women
yeah,
often don't step into their power and know that they have a choice. And sometimes they feel it deep inside, what they want to say, what they want to do, and they're just holding back for some reason. And once they truly feel empowered and trust their thoughts and their ideas and start taking action on those, then they start to build confidence because they're having really great results.
yeah, and that was what you did. Exactly. And now we talked about some things that we really want for this show.
Mm-hmm.
We want.
Yeah.
Can you share?
I do. Before coming on a show like this, or any time that I'm, it sounds crazy, doing a Facebook Live or, mentoring kids and adults, it is so important to me that I bring value and that I can connect with other people, and that I can, hopefully today, our hope when Rebecca and I were talking is that today's show will strike a chord in you and resonate something in your being. And that's something that we talk about will inspire you to take action, maybe to look into having more self-love, maybe going after a big goal or a dream that you've put on the back burner.
Mm-hmm.
So as you listen today, that's our hope, is that we leave you feeling inspired and excited about life and excited about who you can become. Or maybe you just need a few little tweaks and some things you're working on. So maybe today you'll get that little nugget to help you do that.
That little thing that you need, that little nudge.
I know for me, I feel really strongly about having coaches. So I have personal coaches that I work with. And in different areas, I have one that works on organizing my life. I have one that works on my physical, my health and my wellness. And I have another coach that really dug deep and taught me how to let go of things that were very painful, or more importantly, helped me discover why I do what I do.
Yeah.
And that's a tricky thing, because a lot of times we want to make changes in our lives, but our behaviors aren't shifting. And a lot of times it's because we don't understand why we make those choices.
Yeah. I think the why is so important. And why did you decide, I didn't really put this to you last night, but why did you decide that self-love was important, was ultra important?
I think when you have a beautiful little girl,
mm-hmm.
and you are now responsible for her journey, that it's not about you anymore, and you really don't want to transfer anything that was negative in you to her, because children and people, children especially, it's not what you say, it's what you do. And they truly can feel your energy, and they will model what you model for them. And I am conscious of that. Like, what's my behavior when I'm stressed out and we're trying to get out the door to go to school? Do I want to transfer that energy to her so that she now takes that into the classroom and doesn't have her best day?
Yeah.
And so, and to be honest, I was done suffering. I was done. I did not want to suffer anymore. I knew there was
enough.
Enough was enough. Yeah. No more being mean to myself. And I don't know, I have to say, you really have to surround yourself with a tribe of like thinkers. And when you do that, you're not flying solo anymore. And so you get to borrow their belief, and you get to borrow things that are working in their lives. Then you get to put it into yours. And it just raises your level of what is possible.
And vibration. I
Oh
mean,
my
just
gosh.
a level of vibration.
Yeah.
But yeah, building, when I moved over here not long ago, I had it in my plan that I was going to continue to build my tribe.
Mm-hmm.
And that may, for you, not necessarily include family.
Absolutely.
Who knows? Who knows what
Absolutely.
your situation is that you're working with. Mine includes some family, most definitely. But that tribe of that support that you get. And I find when I have conversations with other people, just like this show, I find out so much more about myself and how to move in life, and some helpful things, just like you say, you borrow this person's great way of, I don't know, organizing or something like that, which is sort of important. It helps a lot to be,
and
I'm still working on that a little bit, but
Yeah.
And what were you going to say?
Well, I was going to say, it's really, really important that you find the right kind of tribe, because we can find, okay, so if you are vibrating at a lower vibration, let's talk about guilt and shame. That is one of the lowest frequencies in our body. And so if you are not learning to raise your vibration, you are going to attract people that match that vibration.
Naturally.
They'll just come into your life. So what that means is, let's translate into finding your tribe. You want to really evolve. You really want to transform your life. But if you're attracting people that are going to help you just stay a victim, and you're going to be able to, we've done that in the past. I've had my girlfriends, I call them up and I tell them I can't believe this happened. Yeah. And what they do is they just allow you to retell the story over and over and over again. And that story is not serving you. And you need a tribe of people that can help you shift to what is possible, or let's take a look at that story and let's be done with it. Now, what is it that you want next? And you really need to, it's kind of like you teach your kids, pick your friends wisely, because you become like those people you hang out with. We've heard it all the time. You become like the 5 people you associate with.
Yeah.
So you've got to make sure. And, honestly, not everybody, I know a lot of you go, gosh, my family, you might not have a family that can support you in the way that you think and the way that you're a visionary. And it doesn't mean that you have to stop being their family.
Of course.
You love them, and you love them right where they're at, and you honor them for the way that they can support you.
Thank you for saying that.
Yeah, because they're doing the best that they can.
Yeah.
So then go find your tribe. Go find those people that inspire you and excite you, and you just raise each other up even when you're having a really bad day.
And last night, that's all we were doing.
I know, so fun.
We get really creative in creation when we talk to each other, and it's a safe place. We can really say anything we want, and it's safe. Grab people, grab hold of them that help you feel safe.
Absolutely.
As well. So important. We are going to go to a break. I'm Rebecca Callahan. This is my guest, Joylene Scott. Joy. She has joy in her name. Like, is that cool, Eric, or what?
Absolutely.
I really like that. We
you.
will be right back with Soulful Synchronicities right here on Alternative Talk, 1150 AM KKNW.
Hi, I'm attorney turned life coach Sunny Joy, host of Sunny in Seattle. I invite you to join me every Friday from 9 to 10 a.m. right here on Alternative Talk, 1150 a.m. KKNW. Each week, I'll be bringing you amazing coaches, authors, and healers who are on a mission to encourage you, inspire you, and give you tools to live a life filled with joy, peace, freedom, and purpose. I look forward to connecting with you every Friday from 9 to 10 a.m. Sunny in Seattle, radio that positively shines.
Hi, I'm Danica Patrick and proud aunt. Watching my nieces grow, play, and learn is amazing. But not every child gets to be carefree. 1 in 6 kids in the U.S. are hungry. 1 in 6. That little girl sitting alone at the playground, she can't play like the other kids. She doesn't have the energy because she's hungry. School lunch will be her only meal today. It breaks my heart that this is the reality in our country, but it's something that Feeding America is working to change. Each year, the Feeding America network of food banks rescues billions of pounds of good food that would have gone to waste. This food is then provided to families and children in need. Being a kid should be about using your imagination, learning, and having fun. These children shouldn't have to miss out on simply being a kid because they're hungry. To find out how you can help end childhood hunger in your community, visit feedingamerica.org.
Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
Alternative Talk 1150, online at 1150kknw.com.
The show is Soulful Synchronicities, always heartfelt with an electric feel. Now your host, Rebecca Callahan.
Hey, Eric, can we remind, if you want to kind of pass on the word, hey, I'm listening to this station, but maybe you're in the Seattle area. Maybe you easily can turn the dial to 1150. I want to share some other ways of viewing this. Can you help me out with that, Eric?
Sure. If they want to view it, they can go to 1150kknw.com and click Watch Live. If you're listening to the show, we love having you listen. You can listen at 1150kknw.com, or you can download our app in the App Store or the Google Play Store and take us with you wherever you go and listen to the show that way.
Yeah, and audio for that. And you also can check YouTube for the replays on the app.
Sure, we've got
replays on the website.
That's
and
right.
you can also go to YouTube and go to 1150kknw's page.
Yeah, easiest way to find everything is go to 1150kknw.com, and there's links to everything there. So it's nice and simple. And, of course, good old AM radio works great
good old
as well
AM
on 1150.
radio.
And,
absolutely.
If you got a HD radio, just dial up 98.9 HD3.
Yeah, fantastic. Thank you for that. Anyway, so let's see. You and I have both dealt with feelings of being less than, haven't we?
Oh, absolutely.
Do you think we can elaborate on that?
You bet. Okay. You bet. So for me, just to give you a little back history, I grew up in Southern California, 10 minutes from the beach, and I was that plus-size kid back in the day before plus-size kids kind of are the norm. We're kind of struggling with that, not just in the U.S., but worldwide with obesity and different things like that. And I really latched on to feeling less than because of the teasing and the bullying. Let me say, though, I have great friends from elementary, and because of
I do too.
Yeah, because of Facebook, it's been so much fun to reconnect and stuff. And, they probably had no idea that I really felt less than inside. And
I was always like last person picked or next to last person picked for the team.
Yeah.
And I was really bad in sports. So I can't say I blame them for that reason anyway.
Yeah.
But, part of my story. But go ahead.
Yeah. So anyway, food and dealing with body image, it's really important now with my daughter. I'm going to teach her to rock that body. She's going to be a powerful, gorgeous girl and woman, and she's smart and she's intelligent. And I love, back in the day on the film industry, it wasn't very common you would see plus-size kids. Wow, kudos to our industry now for embracing diversity and sharing the voice of so many and making it something. What were you going to say?
Can you hold that thought? Because what I want to say is I haven't asked, but This Is Us is a show that I watch.
Yeah.
And I think it's Carrie Metz. I'm sorry I'm quite wrong with that, but it's close to that. But anyway, she is a plus-size woman that is on that show. Fantastic actress. I love you so much. And I am so excited about, she sings on that show and she plays a real character. It's based on the creator of the show, his sister. And I just love that it's more prevalent. And I am part of that as well, more prevalent to, I say, if I can be on video, if I can be on video, I want to encourage everybody who has something to say to be on video. It's so easy to do
Oh,
with
you bet.
Facebook
Mm-hmm.
and, any social media these days
You bet.
and everything. But that's a passion for me, because if I had anything to say about it, I would probably just be audio. But I want to encourage that among other women, especially women that have weight issues, and
Mm-hmm.
so anyway, feeling less than, getting back to that and what you were
Yeah.
talking about.
It's very interesting. We form identities. So growing up, for whatever reason, we all have events, things that happen in our lives. And the one thing that is interesting to me, I want to make sure people understand this. You can accomplish great things even though you feel less than. I mean, people looked at me and go, "You're 24, 25, and you started your first business in a studio?" Yeah, I did. I was successful, and I enjoyed it, and I loved it, and I was passionate. But what they didn't see behind the scenes was the day-to-day struggle of how I moved in my body. And many
How
of
about
you,
the thought processes?
yeah.
You are not doing this right.
Right, yeah.
I mean, because we're going to get beyond this in this conversation. We're
Yeah,
going
we're
to
gonna
get
move
beyond
fast,
this less than
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
Because you don't have to be that anymore.
No.
You don't have to
Mm-mm.
think that way anymore.
No, you
but
don't
like
have
those
to.
thoughts, because we talked about.
Yeah, so I think what ends up happening is, we all go to our jobs and we want to do our best and we get there and we put our best self forward. But so I know for me that I had to learn what it meant to embrace the progress and not perfectionism. And that is something that so many people are so attached to, is being.
Say that.
Okay.
Expand on that.
Okay. So many people are very attached to being perfect, getting it right, making sure they don't make a mistake and what ends up happening is that's going to be like a boa constrictor, and it's going to shrink you, and it's going to keep you small. Yeah. And you're going to be so attached to the outcome of everything, wanting everything to be perfect, that
you so can relate to that because you were doing that.
I was doing that. I wasn't perfect enough in my body. I wasn't perfect enough with the way I returned calls to families. I wasn't perfect enough in the way that that I maybe handled a situation, being a business person. And
you were telling yourself in the head,
yeah,
I'm not doing this right, not doing this right.
Absolutely.
And guess what? It came out, because you talked about that. It came out a little bit too in your words.
Yeah.
It does. And I am good enough is a really, I am enough actually.
Right.
Is even better in my mind.
Absolutely. And I think the thing that's really important is that there comes a point in your life, and I'm 48 now with a 5-year-old, which is really fun. There comes a point in your life where you're like, I will not suffer anymore. It doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't make sense to me that I would want to continue living the rest of my life, raising this beautiful little girl, and not finding a way to truly accept everything about myself and truly love myself. And there is a process you go through, and a lot of...
Beautifully said, by the way.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Well, this is what's so exciting. Thank you for having me on your show today. It means so much. And
thank you for being on my show today. And by the way, the person that was going to be on this show, I will have her on a later show. She is a tapping genius.
Yeah, tapping's great.
And so I will have that down the road. But there was some video tie-ins that I wanted to do on my site. My site isn't quite up yet.
Yeah.
So
well,
anyway,
and this was
so
perfect.
I'm proud to have you on the show.
And it was perfect timing. People who have known me, I truly have been working on an amazing transformation for the past 4 years, but really 2.5 years. And it's so exciting now that I can share what I've gone through, but more importantly, what have I done to make these shifts and changes? I truly, absolutely am madly in love with myself, and I have never, ever been that way before. Never. And I truly am, I like the fact that I can be rigorously honest about my behaviors. I can take a step back and look at maybe some behaviors I was doing
I'm
we're
so
not.
glad you brought that up.
Thank you. That we're not serving my greater self, serving my family, serving my daughter, serving my business. I am an entrepreneur. I'm a mompreneur. I have a home-based business. I've partnered with an amazing health and wellness company. And that has absolutely transformed my life as well, because I'm in a tribe of people, of like-minded thinkers who also understand the value of taking care of ourselves. And so because of this journey, you do have to be really loving in the way that you observe yourself. Because, for example, I'll just give you one of my things.
And third person.
Third person.
Right?
Absolutely.
Because I really have gotten into that. I told you on the way here.
Mm-hmm.
I've gotten into that to where third person, it's comfortable when I see a behavior, when I feel a behavior, when there's a situation, and I used to react a certain way, right?
Right.
So I start reacting that way, right?
Right. It's
and
automatic.
And then I kind of go to third person. I can't tell you exactly how I do it, maybe, but I just think third person, like I sort of view it as from above, maybe.
Yes, exactly.
And it's interesting because when I instead feel that emotion, like maybe I am angry or something, maybe I am sad and some tears come.
Sure.
But when I feel it, when I actually feel it and not stuff it like I've been doing for years and just push it down, when I actually take the moment it takes to feel it and move through it, it's amazing how quickly it can happen, and I move through it. And, maybe next time, not necessarily will I react the same way.
No.
Yeah, because I'm done.
You're done.
It's sort of.
I think, what we're talking about is not sitting and basking in the failure or what you perceive as a failure or a way that you don't want to behave.
It's a waste of energy.
Such a waste. It's such a waste. But you know what? When you're in it like that and you have conditioned your body and your mind, the neurotransmitters and the routes that fire in your brain, what fires together, wires together, and that includes all of our thoughts, and we repeat the same thoughts day in and day out, day in and day out, day in and day out. We go to our jobs day in and day out. We do the same routine day in and day out. If you don't start to step back and you truly want to change and transform your life and go after goals, then you've got to also, number one, first take a look at the behaviors. Take a look at what you're doing. Okay, I'm going to just give you a real basic, simple one. I have been a late person my entire life, right? My whole life. Up
Me
against
too.
the gun. Not anymore, though. I have to tell you, absolutely not anymore.
Me too.
Right?
Both.
Right?
We found
so,
out. Yeah.
Intellectually, it's rude. Being late is disrespectful of people's time. We understand that. But what's really going on underneath that is a couple of things. One, you put too many things in your day. So you need to be out the door at a certain time, and you're still pushing in a few little things like putting the laundry in or running out the door, or maybe you slept in too late. Maybe you weren't responsible and didn't get up soon enough. What ends up happening is you create a fight or flight response within your body, and you get addicted to that chemical bath, and that creates a neural pathway, and you just perpetuate that behavior day in and day out, day in and day out. So what ends up happening is you have to do
Freaks me out just thinking about it.
Well, yeah, and just think
fight or flight.
Fight or flight.
Living in fight or flight.
That's what we
constantly. It's
our
like
society is kind of addicted to that. To be honest, because you know why?
We're all so busy, busy.
Yeah, and sometimes we also like to put out fires and go, "Whoo, we're a hero."
That's true.
You get addicted to like, "Oh, I saved the day." Well, in reality, you weren't moving through your day with ease. So here's what's happened now. I have changed. I have to. Can I quote Susan Sly? I have to. She's one of
think so.
Susan Sly is one of my coaches, and she's an Organize Your Life expert. And one of the most valuable things she taught me is that we don't get our goals; we get our standards.
Okay, elaborate for you.
So,
what's your personal take on that?
So let me. I want to say that again.
Yeah.
We don't get our goals; we get our standards. And let me explain. I'm going to be very vulnerable and very real here.
Okay.
My kitchen has been a disaster for a decade. I'm not kidding you. Like, dishes dirty at night. I just would forget it, go to bed, wake up to a messy kitchen. It would just interfere in our day, especially with having a little girl now. It just adds stress. You got to get that done so you have room to cook dinner. I decided that it was no longer going to be a standard that our kitchen would be dirty when we wake up in the morning. And I clean that kitchen every night. I could fall asleep in bed with my little girl and go, oh, I just don't want to get up. I'm like, no, it's a standard. It's such a different thing than a goal because you know what? I've not always hit my goals.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You set
Okay.
goals and you're
I
like,
know what
oh,
you
I
mean.
missed the mark. I didn't hit my goal. But when it's a standard in your life,
Mm-hmm.
that has so much more value. So eating healthy now for me.
When I wake up to a clean kitchen, it's like Christmas to me.
Yeah.
It feels so good. I
Right.
kind of float around my day as opposed
Right.
to,
Yeah.
oh, those dishes. Oh, and it's getting worse and worse. And I don't want to spend all my time washing
Right.
dishes, which when we do our dishes like right away, it's kind of cool
Yeah.
because things slide off a lot easier.
Yeah,
and,
your
you
day
know,
is set up.
Yeah.
But it's the same thing with being on time. So to tie it back
Close.
to that, I don't want to have a fight or flight feeling. I don't want to create that anxiety and those chemicals in my body because one, it's going to transfer to my daughter wherever we're going. Do I want her to feel that anxiety and stress and, hitting the road fast and, things like that?
And you also love yourself and you love
Yeah.
ease. You have also fallen in love with
Oh,
ease.
I am
because I know I have.
Yeah. Okay. So when I had a studio and I had employees and big productions and, that in the entertainment industry, we do kind of work in these chunks and these blocks of time when they produce a movie, you're on set for so many days and then it moves into, post-production. We tend to learn to develop and create in very intense, high energy situations that things have to be accomplished.
Yeah.
I was a famous procrastinator. Like, hello, I am your girl. I'm the poster child. And so that created for me that addiction to, I'm good at pulling things off at the last minute, and I did it, and that chemical bath. But gosh, it was sure a lot of wasted energy.
Mm-hmm.
Boy, did I have to, it was hard on my body, so hard on my body that when I was 29 years old, I came down with an illness that had me bedridden for 8 months.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. My career was taking off. I had just finished starring with Christopher Lloyd, the crazy doc
I love
guy.
that man.
I love
Doc
him too.
from Back to the Future,
Yeah,
and
he's
he was in Taxi
as
well. He
and-
was
yeah.
stoned
and
half
he
the time in
produces
Taxi.
Oh, was
His
he?
character.
Oh, yeah, his character was, yeah. Yeah, and so my career was doing fantastic. I was really excited, and some things were really happening, and I all of a sudden couldn't get out of bed, and I would have to sleep all day and hit the theater at night. So what the last show I did, I starred with Christopher Lloyd in the musical Oliver at Robert Redford Sundance Theater. It was a really exciting time.
I didn't know it was the set.
Yeah,
Robert Redford.
Yeah, it was a really exciting time.
I'm in love with Robert Redford still. Yes. Go ahead.
Yeah, and it was a really exciting time. But what had happened is prior to that, I'd had my studio
Mm-hmm.
and had taken a break from my studio to go work professionally. And then I came back and started my studio again after I recovered from being ill. And we can't push our bodies like that, even at 29, 28 years old.
And we can.
Oh, we can, but
everything
there
is
a
a
consequence.
choice.
Mm-hmm.
Everything is a choice. And we have found that we have some delicious choices, some wonderful
Mhm.
choices. We talked about last night how you really had a dream that for this show, you wanted to hone in the fact that we have
Choice, that we get to choose our joy. That, for so long, I didn't know how to voice my feelings to, let me see if I can explain this. Sure, I was successful. I ran a studio. We produced great shows. We had awesome staff. I was successful that way. But because of the chaos and the unorganization and not in constant overwhelm and, putting out fires and stress, I didn't always make the choice that was really best for me.
mm-hmm.
And
best
so-
for everybody else.
And best for everyone else. I mean, things went great.
Or you
Really?
made the choice for best for everyone
Yeah.
else. Didn't you choose everyone else?
I did, sure.
There for a long
sure.
time?
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
But I was moving through life the best that I could.
Sure.
So fast forward to now.
Yeah.
I used to be almost 300 pounds, a size 28. I'm currently a size 18, 20. And what that says to you and what I hope to convey is that when we put ourselves into chaos, overwhelm, we tend to find things to check out. We all have checkout points, and we numb out and we check out. And food for me was completely not anymore. This is fascinating to me. Not anymore. Because I went to work and I had a coach that, taught me why I did what I did. More importantly, he taught me that I would say, oh, I'm a food addict. I'm a food addict. He goes, no. Food is your drug of choice. And once I understood that, then I went, maybe alcohol's your drug of choice. It really wasn't mine. But maybe
TV's your drug of choice.
Maybe, scrolling on Facebook a lot longer than maybe you should, and it's not serving your goals and where you want to be is your drug of choice. So bottom line, we can choose to check out and numb out and live a life that is good. We're happy. It's great.
It's fine.
It's fine.
Let's use that word.
It's fine.
I have, or you can choose a life.
Yeah. So I have this thing now that I love. I truly do. I love people. I love life. I love exactly where I'm at. And I worked hard to get here. And I learned that I could choose differently. And that was really important. But with that, you have to do the work. And the first number one thing you have to do is be loving and understanding and accepting. And you need to know that looking at your behaviors, just know that's there's a cause and effect to why you do what you do. But when you start to go inside and go, hey, you know what? I ain't going to be that mean to myself anymore. You know what? So what? I messed up. Big deal. What are we going to do differently? What choice are we going to make tomorrow?
Because you know what? If your friend had that situation,
oh my gosh, yeah.
What would you be saying to your friend? You would be saying, it's okay. Don't worry about it. We talked about, you said that you got good job yourself.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Good job. I got up. Good job. I cooked dinner. Good job.
Yeah.
And sincerely, good job. If I sound sarcastic at all, I am not actually trying to sound that way. Good job, man. Rebecca, wow. You did good,
right.
in whatever I did. You took 15 minutes and you read a book.
Right. You honored yourself. You built you fed your soul. It's really interesting. I've been a school teacher as well, in the public school system, and then having my studio, and I've coached adults, and I've coached kids. And that is my love, and my favorite thing is to pour belief into them and help them see the possibility of what they can be. And I'm in my zone.
Me too.
When I'm just pouring belief into other people and loving them and helping them recognize what they're capable of doing, that lights me up. That sets my soul on fire. And guess what? I was not doing that for myself.
Right. And isn't it interesting now doing it from the point where you feel these things about yourself? We're so much more effective.
Oh, my goodness.
When we're feeling that already with ourselves, to be able to empower people.
Yes.
You empowering kids and me, empowering people, that it's just amazing the difference of how it feels inside and also how it plays out, like to that other person, because you are also coming from love.
Absolutely.
Not just, love for them, but love for yourself.
Right.
And Diana, the receptionist, said there's interesting new scientific evidence.
Absolutely.
Regarding this. There is new scientific evidence that you get the same chemical reaction that happens in the human body when you fall in love with yourself as what happens when you fall in love with another person. That was pretty powerful. It's like, wait a minute, do you have paper? I got to write this down. New scientific evidence. Listen up. Once again, just a repeat because it's worth it. That the same chemical reaction happens in the human body when you fall in love with yourself.
Yeah.
As what happens when you fall in love with another person.
Absolutely.
That's kind of powerful. she Googled that while we were
Yeah.
talking about that. So there's a lot of information on that on the web. We are actually going to take a break, and we are going to talk more with Joylene Scott. I'm Rebecca Callahan, and this is Soulful Synchronicities.
Imagine being denied an apartment because of housing discrimination.
It's so wrong. But who has the power to stop this?
You do. The law is on your side. If you've been discriminated against because of race, color, religion, sex, national origin, disability, or familial status, file a complaint with HUD. Fair housing is your right.
Use it.
Visit HUD.gov/fairhousing. A public service message from HUD and the National Fair Housing Alliance.
Adopt US Kids presents Multiple Choice Parenting.
Your daughter just had her first breakup. Do you A, put yourself in her shoes?
How could he do this to you? And for Sheila, she has split ends.
B, console her.
Oh, sweetie, this is going to happen a lot. 4, maybe 5 more times before you get married.
C, take charge.
Got to get this all straightened out. Keep a little talking to, man to man, mano a mano. Hey, Steve! Is now a good time? No? Okay, no problem. Bye.
Or D, help her find a new boyfriend.
I know a great place to meet boys. The internet. Nice, single boys. Never mind. How about some ice cream?
As a parent, there are no perfect answers. But you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
For more information on how you can adopt, visit adoptuskids.org. A public service announcement from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
Alternative Talk 1150, here to uplift your day.
You're listening to Soulful Synchronicities. Rebecca's job, as she sees it, is simply helping to bring out the brilliance and magic that is you. It's heartfelt with an electric feel. Here's Rebecca Callahan.
Thank you, Eric. Well, we want to give you some ideas as to how to apply some of this stuff if you're interested. And I listened to a telesummit of Sarah Langdon, and many of you know Sunny in Seattle has had her on her show, so you might be familiar with her. But she went through self-love 8 points, and pay attention to my thoughts is point number 1. Shift to I am. 2, all is forgiven. I am love. Number 3 is take care of my body, food, water, exercise, taking care of your eyes, etc. Number 4 is focus on my needs. 5 is very important, and we are doing this today. Speak our truth. Speak my truth. 6, have boundaries. 7, we talked about creating a supportive network or a tribe to be around you, and explore our dreams is number 8, what I truly want, and allow that to happen. One thing that you talked about is, and I really thought that was a great list, and she expanded on that.
Great list.
And she works with the council, so that was from the council basically. But what I wanted to talk about is, you said kind of the startings of self-love with you happened in the mirror.
It did. Okay. And it's fun, as I've been listening to your show, you kept bringing up mirror work, and we hadn't ever talked, you and I, about that.
And we've talked about a lot of stuff.
We talk about lots of things. Yeah, absolutely. So here's the first thing. Number 1 thing, be aware of your behaviors, be loving, no judging. See if you can go a whole day without judging yourself. So
There's a challenge.
Yeah, that's a challenge.
Can we try
everything from everything? Just maybe the way your nose looks, or your ears, or maybe the way your outfit will look. So first and foremost, because I know we're on limited time, we're moving out, and I really want to give your listeners some practical things to apply. Number 1 first, go ahead and be very kind and understanding of your behaviors and go, hey, I want to make this shift in my life. What is it going to take? Ask yourself that question. What is it going to take? From there, you take a look at your behaviors and you start shifting those. And as you do that, you start finding, I can do this. And you start to feel more trust within yourself. Next, you have definitely got to find a way to unconditionally love everything about yourself. You have got to do that. So one of the things I did, and I was like, oh my goodness, this is the goofiest woo-woo stuff I've ever heard. But I realized it was so important to me to not suffer anymore and to really become I know it sounds cliche, my best self, but to be honest, I want to be my best for my daughter. And so
I live a life full of ease.
Oh,
yes, you're going to have challenges.
Oh, yeah.
You know, of course.
Kicking moments are
of
every
course.
day.
Yes.
Okay, so here's I want to give a little tip on wall kicking moments. You guys, don't sit in them for 2 weeks, a month. A wall kicking moment is a moment. I tell my daughter every day, we don't have bad days in our house. There's no such thing as a bad day. There's a bad moment. And it's not what happens to you.
I kind of feel that way. I actually totally feel that way, too.
Yeah, and it's not what happens to you. It's how quickly you recover. That's definitely film and television.
Ooh, not what happens to you.
It's how quickly you recover. So when my kids are doing an audition for a casting director, and they're like, I messed up. I'm like, it's okay. They don't care that you messed up. They want to see how quickly you recover. Aren't we like that? Don't we love comeback kings in sports? It's not what happened. It's how quickly you recover.
Yeah, and actually, the universe has 50 million different ways lined up for you.
Yeah.
So if one thing doesn't work out, you know, I just was reminded of that the other day, that there are many other things in line. So, you know, just
go with it. Okay, so I had kind of been scrolling along on Facebook, and I saw this little video about, you know, mirror work, and I went ahead and clicked on it. And the gentleman is awesome, and he's telling you to look in the mirror and look in your eyes in the mirror and say, I love you. And I'm like, are you kidding me? That is just crazy.
Take some time with those eyes.
Well, that's right. So guess what? I had suffered long enough. I was willing to do what it took. You know, I was going to do whatever it was going to take to change my life and transform. So here I am in my bathroom, and I knew I was going to have to do this every day. And I pull up my mirror and I look myself in square in the eyes, and I say, I love you. I'm going, this is ridiculous. But I'm going to tell you something. You need to know that if you want to transform your life, sometimes those uncomfortable, ridiculous things are just what you need. And I'm going to tell you, I stuck with it for over 2 months, and it took a month before I actually felt my soul look at me, look at myself in the mirror. My eyes saw my soul, and I finally understood why mirror work was so magical. Because do you know why? I would never, ever look my daughter in the eyes. It makes me tear up. And ever tell her she was less than. Ever.
Yeah, never.
Why would we do that to ourselves? Why would we say that we are not enough? So you know what? That silly little woo-woo mirror work was a gift. And you know what? Then it switched into I ams. Next, before I know it, I'm like, okay, I hear about this I am thing, and I'll kind of let you talk about it.
Okay, Joylene. I am, and I do I ams in the mirror sometimes.
Yeah.
As you noticed, my bathroom has I am.
Oh, I loved it. It was awesome. Yeah.
I am. We are going to do the Rebecca I am volley. Are you ready?
Deal.
Ready for this?
Let's
Okay.
go.
I am love.
I am kindness.
I am joy.
I am excited.
I am safe.
I am strong.
I am invincible.
You know, that's a good one, right? I am capable.
I am on fire.
Deal. I like that one. I am on fire. Absolutely. And I am going to extend love and grace to myself. And as I do that, I will move through the planet, giving that to others. And that is what I live by. You know, even in the checkout line, I think that person got up this morning or had to get to work, and who knows what their day was like. But am I going to extend love? Am I going to extend graciousness? Am I going to lift their spirits in that one moment? And that's really what self-love creates for you, is that you get to now just move in a way through the planet, and you're not so stuck in your head and absorbed in yourself.
Yeah, because you're giving that love to yourself already. And I find I have freely given love and
encouragement
and great comments and everything to other people for so long. And now doing that, it feels so different because I'm coming from the love of myself as well. And man, that packs a good amount of power.
It does.
To it now, and I feel fantastic. And man, it was sincere before, but it's just, I don't know, it feels so good otherwise. And we have a minute to go.
Okay.
So I'm going to wrap up, and I am so honored to have you on this show today. Thank you, Joylene Scott. I love you dearly. I'm Rebecca Callahan, and we will talk to you next week. I am going to have, a cool girl next week, too. Maggie is her name, and she is a musician, and she's going to bring her guitar.
Fun.
We're going to have a great time.
Yay.
We will see you next week on Soulful Synchronicities. Thanks for listening.